Good evening, everyone. This is Leo coming at you once again with a video diary entry for the book Thorns by Bridget DeVoe. Poetry and inspirations and all of that wonderful stuff. Wow. And let this music play a little bit. In tonight's segment, I won't exactly say that we are in a dark and dismal place. I feel like we are healing, but in the process of healing, it does take acknowledging certain things. I will say it is a rather gloomy sunset. We're sort of in, I guess, a sad place, but a very honest one. The doves seem to look a little bit more distraught tonight. The seagulls are writing some rather morose poetry across the skies. The waves are even looking a little bit down tonight. Because we're really in a place of just kind of letting the tears flow and really acknowledging certain things. Just an honest place. And I'm going to just go ahead and dive right into the poem. Tonight's poem reads, and I'm sure we can all relate to this in some form or capacity. But tonight's poem reads, when you've been fed lies for so long, you eventually lose your appetite for love. When you've been fed lies for so long, you eventually lose your appetite for love. Video diary entry title, I don't know if I can anymore. Subtitled, Why Should I Believe You Now? So again, we sit by a rather tumultuous sunset, emotionally speaking. Sunsets are normally your time to kind of unwind and sort of simmer down. And I guess to a degree we are doing that. But it is rather heartbreaking when the person that you have fallen for or think, has fallen in love with you was never really in love with you at all. And even before I came on camera, I started thinking to myself, where has the world gone? I'm going to get very real in this. I look at the world in 2020. I see how we treat each other, whether it be in our romantic relationships or in our platonic relationships. I look at the way we treat each other and I'm like, what the world is wrong with us? Where's the respect at the very least? Where is that at? Where has that gone? And now, particularly in romance, fed lies for so long, you eventually lose your appetite for love. That's a very dangerous spot to be in, because now it makes me not believe anything that anybody says. I can relate very well to this piece because, for me, honestly, I'm real selective about who I let in my space, and there's a reason for that. You know, I never really meant to be standoffish. You know, when I was little, I was a very quiet individual. I didn't say a lot. I would even go so far as to say I was very timid. But when I saw the way people treated me, instead of actually getting to know me as a person, I learned right off the bat that everybody that you think is your friend is not. Or people that you maybe would desire to be friends with are not going to return the favor. And I learned also very quickly how fake and how phony and just how very ill willed people can be. And I used to always ask myself, I used to bug myself with the question, why are people like this? What makes a person like that? What makes a person so inconsiderate and just downright foul to their core? In this particular situation, I asked the question, what makes you lie to get what you want? How could you stoop so low to lie to me to get what you want? I speak empathically, empathetically for Bridget here. But tonight's poem is pretty much like her love letter, honestly, that she's just hoping somebody would read and understand. But it's sad when you get to this point where it's like you've been lied to constantly, and it just sort of puts this blockage in your heart and up here, and it's like you have to start really, it's like you're always on guard and you can never really let yourself be loose for a moment. It's a really sad place to be. But video diary entry title, I don't know if I can anymore. Subtitle, why should I believe you now? And my first thought, not even really so much a poem, but my first thought with this, how I've heard people say that love is just a figment of my imagination. I've heard people say that, and I used to wonder why, what would make you feel that way? But having read this poem, I can kind of see why people do this or feel this way. It's like likely that person was hurt by somebody that was supposed to love them the most. That they thought they could trust with their hearts, and then this happened. You know, And so it's just one big domino effect of hurt people hurt people. Though I don't subscribe to that, I always say, yes, you might have been hurt, but if healing was that important to you, you would be trying to work through that as best as you possibly can. I don't believe that the hurt caused you should be is justification to go and hurt somebody else. I don't subscribe to that. That's just me personally. But I kind of have an understanding of why people would maybe feel this way. So my first thought, in reflection on that, love is a fallacy, a beautiful figment of hopes longed for, passionate colors imagined, just another portrait for show. Where do I hang this one? A portrait of lies is told by love. I guess that's what I titled that thought. A portrait of lies as told by love. It's sad when you get to a point where you believe that love itself is a lie. I once said it wasn't love that hurt you. It was just the person that you loved who lacked it. I question what we say about love sometimes. Does love really hurt us? Does love itself hurt? Or is it the people that we're relinquishing love and trying our best to show that we love them, but they're just not, the person that we love is just not in a position up here or in here to reciprocate that. Maybe not even at the depth that I'm giving it, but something. But it's sad when you get to that point where love is nothing but a portrait painted, but it becomes a distant action. I could say emotion, because love is part emotion, but most of it is verbal, is verb, meaning action. If I feel love for you, I do what I can to show that. Or if you love me, you wouldn't lie to me to try to get what you want out of me. You wouldn't say or do all the right things with a hidden agenda underneath your bone. Crazy, right? But yeah, that was my first thought. Love is a fallacy, a beautiful figment of hopes longed for, passionate colors imagined, just another portrait for show. Where do I hang this one? Tragic. But yes, my first thought. And a personal intermission for me. Because even as I read this, I had to kind of remind myself of where I am in my life in regards to this. Because Bridget, I was once where you were, believing this, gearing towards that side, to the point where I just wanted my heart to be blackened. That's a dangerous place for a poet to be. It's almost like asking your ability to compile words to be stripped of you. Poetry being a passion that I hold very dear. Love being the driving force behind my writings. Love and passion. But a little intermission here. If I could just remember. If I could just remember. If I can gaze upon the star you gave to me that day, the psalm it played inside the glass, the song bouncing between your eyes, fluttering like the twinkling of skies, holding them, I'll know then or be reminded of love. And in a shimmer, so suddenly, it's all coming back to me. Fresh as I first saw her, that bright little ballerina, that dancing sparkle, that delightful beauty. Play that song again, beloved. Breath of stars, I remember now. If I could just remember. That piece was actually written as a tribute to my best friend. Didn't necessarily imagine a romantic, love, but just a friend that I know who cares deeply, almost being the closest to it. If I can gaze upon that star you gave me that day, the psalm it played inside the glass, the song bouncing between your eyes, fluttering like the twinkling of skies, holding them, I'll know then or be reminded of love. And in a shimmer, so suddenly, it's all coming back to me, fresh as I first saw her, that bright little ballerina, that dancing sparkle, that delightful beauty. Play that song again, beloved. Breath of stars, I remember now. If I can look into your eyes, this is for me, personally, outside of Bridget. If I can look into your eyes again, or even imagine myself looking at them, I'll remember just what love looks like. I would call that portrait of your face that I imagine love in the stars, as depicted in your smile, or even in the way you stare at me as I talk about something of which I hold great passion. The way you grin at me, or even the way you laugh when I say something funny, when I paint a comical twist to a rather meaningful thing, and you laugh, that little fluttering between your eyes, I'll know then love is still a powerful truth resonant in today's world. I can look into your eyes, best friend, and I can see the beauty of love all over again. I can feel her magic beaming and whistling through the wind from one set of eyes to another, loving the stars. If I could just remember, if I could remember your look upon me and everything you've done and shown to me, I'll remember love. Well into it. We're going to get deep tonight. And just be honest, I'm not even mindful of time or whatever. We're going to get deep tonight because I enjoyed writing this. And Sergio, if you ever get the chance to watch this, I do love you very much. You know that. So that one's for you, Angel. And going into the poetry for Bridget, this one titled, And Just Where Is She Now? And just where is she now? That bright, soft lantern I held onto like a butterfly in the night. Or maybe it was a firefly in a vibrant disguise. Both pearls bright and shiny in their own right. Love in one hand, desire in the other. Lust must have met us somewhere in the middle to mold the triangle of passion. The colors of my heart tainted by her splash. A hope I hearken. A hope I hearken amassed by the lustrous fantasy, fulfilling at the time. Fitting, I'm sorry. It just felt nice to be loved and desired, if even but imitationally. A dispensation of deception colored breathtakingly. He sung a sweet ballad, to say the least. but my butterfly's gone missing. Gentle creature, where art thou? In the hills, the mountains, deeper valleys, tell me, and I'll find you. Ah, where is she? My heart to love again. And just where is she now? My love, or at least my ability or willingness, has scurried off like a butterfly off far into the night. I might have been holding a butterfly and a firefly in one. A picture perfect portrait of both love and desire. But lust, having come through meeting you, found a space in between. And as lust began to center herself in my heart, my true desires became tainted, and thus I began to confuse love with lust, or lust with love. I began to settle for an imitation of being desired by someone. But I was wanted for all the wrong reasons. But it was a sweet ballad sung. Felt good to be desired in that moment. But my worth couldn't fully be captured in that fling. But see, in romance, I'm not just looked at as a sexual object. No, I'm actually seen as someone to love. As passionately as a boxer can punch a punching bag, that is how passionately someone can love me. Requitedly, as I love them. Or even as I love myself, they love me just as passionately. But I'm trying to find her now. So tell me, where is she? And just where is she now? Deep, 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 deep. The next one titled, Butterfly, Come Back. Butterfly, come back. Restore that songful ballad sung to me, the colors of the opera spring, the arpeggio of mountainous dreams, the starry lights emitted from thy wings, gentle lights upon the night. Paint upon my heart delight once more, my love. Dispel the plight of passions unrequited, a brighter hope in sight within me. But butterfly, oh butterfly, belovedly, come back first. Ah, my love, please, please, come back. Butterfly being symbolic of innocence. The innocence of wanting to love so freely and openly. This is why I say it's a story underneath the story, because even though the poem says when you've been fed so many lies, you start to lose your appetite for love. But see, this poem right here, Butterfly Come Back, the story underneath the story, it's like I don't want to really just sabotage my appetite to be loved and even consider the fact that I am worthy of it. It just takes the right person equipped to love me the way that I desire to be. I desire to be loved more than sexually. I desire to be loved in a way that is so much more intimate than what can happen in the bedroom. I'm sitting talking to you. You love me enough to listen to what I have to say, whether you agree with it or not. You love me enough to take seriously the things that matter to me. And I love you just the same. What means the most to you means the most to me. Love reciprocated. I want that ability to love openly and freely right back, as symbolized by the butterfly that I'm asking to bid a swift return. I want my desire to love back. Dispel the plight of passions unrequited. Help me forget about the fact that love was not requited to me in this season, but reopen my heart to love again. Butterfly, come back. You kind of hear her inner desire in that poem. Wow. The next one, titled, What to Do with All of These? What to do with all of these? This is where I think the poetry begins to sort of take a turn. Now we're maybe in the not so good part of this. But again, we're on the voyage towards healing and restoration. But what to do with all of these? Should I make a diary of them now, for memory's sake? Not memoirs, my love. Love poems and love promise go in that stack of pages. Sacred spaces. Sacred spaces of sacred pleasures. This diary I'm talking about, lies you told, psalms of deception, poems a reflection of torment with tickling side effects, a loss of respect for you. No, you belong here, in the diary of dead bones, core honored lies. At least you kept your words. I just have ample space left to remember just why. I never believed her in the first place, at least coming from you. But you played the part well, showing a different side to her. Lover and liar. What page now? Yep. Think I'll make that diary. What to do with these? Wow. Like I said, there's some, like, I can even tell when the tone changes in how my writing is. You know, sacred spaces of sacred pleasures. No, the diary that I want to make doesn't contain pages filled with all of the love and affection you've shown me. No, the diary that I need to make is the diary of lies you told. Diary of a dead weight in my life. Diary of a person who could not fulfill that which I so inwardly desired. Wow. That part right there hit me. The diary of dead bones. Wow. Core honored lies, at least you kept your words. I just have ample space left to remember just why I never believed her in the first place, at least coming from you. But she played the part well, showing a different side to her. Lover and liar. What page now? Yep. Think I'll make that diary. I think I'll make it now. All the lies I've been told by you, I can actually write a bestseller with all of those. Tragic space to be. But acknowledging how we really feel in the process. But a little intermission, another one, surprise, from Bridget this time. A candle like a bottle, a candle like a bottle, holding the candle like I'm holding the bottle of wine in your memory, a victory and a vigil in one, a toast to celebrate, to love. Candle like a bottle. Interesting enough, you hold a vigil for somebody to honor someone's death in your life. You mourn that death, but when I say honor, I mean you hold a vigil for somebody, a candlelight vigil for somebody that you deeply loved and respected. It's interesting enough that I would even think to hold a vigil for you. But this is also a victory for having been able to let you go. But a candle to maybe showcase the fact that I loved you, though you didn't requite me the same. But a candle like a bottle. And the last part of the poetry series, believe it or not, a little bit more moderate than I may have presented it, but titled Here We Go. Here we go. That glorious day, that morning sunrise, the first time I saw my eye color after many a dark nights, flustered between stars I couldn't quite touch. But then one twinkle crossed the night, and on this night I neuter your image, the picturesque of your departure, a ripple dying faster than the rock that surged it into motion, the death of you, my love, the rise of me, my love. Right, I say that out of respect. Keep it cordial, can we? Here we go. I don't exactly hold the same level of intimate love that I once had for you, but I'm at least loving enough to keep things cordial, to keep things at the very least okay. From fantasizing to absolutely distraught, now to content with being cordial with you. If not connected with you romantically any longer. But here we go. And my concluding quote, or poem rather, kind of like my side note to Bridget. And now that we know the truth, and now that we know the truth, now that we know the truth, let's let the sonetry of stars drift us off into the night. The enchanting songs of the moonlight, a bright circle of psalmistry. In the palms of a drowning sunset, let us seal our love. Friends through thick and thin, we'll find the one love. Just you wait, just you. Look, they're twinkling again. Beautiful, aren't they? Just like you. And now that we know the truth, now that we know the truth, and now that we've exposed the fact that we've been lied to this whole time. I think we can now kind of start motioning along in peace. I don't think it dispels right away the hurt that the lie has caused and you having fell for it. And no, we can't exactly undo it. But now that we know his real intentions and his true motives, and that he never really loved you and will never requite you, Bridget, we're allowed to feel what we feel, and then we can move forward. Now that we know the truth, we can drift off into this sunset, our eyes enamored in the last of the glow left. And we can definitely enjoy the scene, us friends, us together, just out here clearing our minds, clearing our hearts, and just refreshing our souls a little bit, but sojourning forward. Yes, I don't know if I can anymore. Subtitle, Why Should I Believe You Now? My side advice, Bridget, don't give up on love. I know it's tough, sweetie, and I've been there. I have been there, wanted to do that, but it's not worth it to just throw away the idea that you are worthy, or even, no, not the idea, but the fact that you are worthy of love. It's not worth it to throw away that truth because of the actions of one person. Kind of where I am in my life. Many people have misunderstood me. Many people have said wrong things to me and done things that are just unspeakable. But what I'm not going to allow myself to do is be held hostage to hatred towards people. I'm not going to discount myself, you know, unworthy. I'm not going to count myself unworthy of love. No. Those that are meant to be there in my space will be there. The right people will love me where I am, for who I am. I firmly believe that. And Bridget, I encourage you, begin to believe that as well. But yes. Whew, good little segment, good little segment. When you've been fed lies for so long, you eventually lose appetite for love. Examine where you are on this spectrum, world. If you're the person lying to get what you want, might want to start telling the truth. This is a time to start doing better. Bettering your relationships, bettering how you treat people, bettering how you come off. If you really love somebody, you don't lie to them to get what you want. No, you tell the truth. And even if your truth is not loved, it can at least be respected. You can be respected as a person for having told the truth. But yeah, video diary entry for that. Take care, be blessed, be encouraged, be inspired, and all of those wonderful things. Good night and good night. Blessings.